crime is incredible. And we're just not going to let that happen here.
Would it be gambling if, at some point when there is a procedure in place, if you can't ascertain whether or not somebody's been radicalized or not, or if radical groups actually train some of their soldiers to say the right things to get in, but if you can't positively ascertain they're safe and find out what's in their heart, does that mean no-go? You won't gamble?
Well, I tell you what, you use the right word, gamble. We don't want to have gambles. Our country has a lot of problems, well beyond this. And I found out a lot over the last week. I mean, we have serious difficulties. We don't need another difficulty. Right now, the FBI has over 1,000 investigations going on, 1,000 on terrorism.
In all 50 states.
All over the place. And these are people that we let in. We don't need this, all right? We don't need this. Some people have come in with evil intentions, and, you know, most haven't, I guess. But we can't take chances. You know, the word gamble is an appropriate word. It's a big gamble. You're throwing something up. Look, I love this country. You love this country. We can't let this continue to happen. We've taken in tens of thousands of people. We know nothing about them. They can say they vet them. They didn't vet them. They have no papers. How can you vet somebody when you don't know anything about them and you have no papers? How do you vet them? You can't. On your show, I've seen that they have FBI agents. They have all these people that you have as experts. They say it's impossible to vet them. I don't have to see that to know that they're right. Mm-hmm. So we have people in this country that will cause problems. We're not going to have any more. And we're going to be very tough and very, very vigilant.
You do not need Congress now as it relates to building the wall. And you said in an interview last night that you plan to do this expeditiously.
Right.
That's about 700 miles of fencing, other measures as well. Do you think you'll need more than that? Will you have to go to Congress to get their support for?
I don't think we're going to need too much. Look, the wall is necessary. That's not just politics. And yet it is good for the heart of the nation in a certain way because people want protection. And a wall protects. All you have to do is ask Israel. They were having a total disaster coming across, and they had a wall. It's 99.9% stoppage. A proper wall, not a wall that's this high like they have now. They have little toy walls. I don't know why they even wasted their time. If you ever saw where they build a little ramp over the wall, I don't even know why they build a ramp. It's cheaper to knock it over.
You're talking about a real wall, impenetrable.
I'm talking about a real wall. I'm talking about a wall that's got to be, like, serious. And even that, of course, you'll have people violate it, but we'll have people waiting for them when they do. We have a great man, General Kelly, who just got approved very quickly by the Senate, recommended highly by General Mattis and others. And he's going to be taking very good care of us, Homeland Security. He's going to be taking very, very good care of us. And, you know, when he was named, he didn't even give an order yet. And all of a sudden, the borders started tightening up. You saw that. Mm-hmm. It was on a lot of different shows. They talked about the borders tightening up just by naming General Kelly.
Let me go to a big decision you're going to make next week. You've announced on Thursday you will make your Supreme Court choice announcement. Two questions on that. One, will it be from the list that you gave out during the campaign?
The answer is yes.
Will it be an originalist?
I don't want to say that. You're going to see on Thursday.
Have you made your decision?
I have made my decision pretty much in my mind, yes.
Next question.
I mean, it's subject to change at the last moment, but I think this will be a great choice.
Chuck Schumer, others threatening, we've never had a Supreme Court justice filibustered, but there's a chance that might happen.
Hey,
if that
happens,
would you want Mitch McConnell to use the nuclear option?
Yes, I would.
You would?
I would.
Have you talked to him about it?
We have obstructionists. These are people that don't want to. I almost think they have what they did to Jeff Sessions, who's a great man and a wonderful man, and then they delayed it another week because they have a 1-week delay option. That's not fair to a man. Other people are delayed. Look at Pompeo for CIA. This is a great choice. Everybody agrees. And they delayed him a number of days also, even though he was fully approved and voted on by, you know, I mean, very, very great choice. And why are they doing that? They're obstructionists. I'll tell you what, they're obstructionists. I go to a meeting with them that's supposed to be a very quiet meeting, nobody talking outside of the meeting. They leave the meeting and they have a news conference about what I said. They're talking to the cameras about exactly what I said at the meeting, which is fine, because I say things that I don't mind going out because I assume they're going to do that. But the deal was we wouldn't talk to the press. And they go out and they talk to the press.
Leaking in Washington, that's a shock.
No, but I mean, they talk to the press like 15 feet away from the door. It's not like they called up when they got home.
Right.
So look, these are obstructionists, and that's fine.
Let me ask you, I don't remember you saying this in the campaign, and I was on the road with you quite a bit, and we did a lot of town halls together, but you're now talking about a 10% reduction in spending, in other words, eliminating baseline budgeting, a 20% reduction in the government workforce. How important is a balanced budget to you, and were you surprised Republicans before you got here raised the debt ceiling $9.7 trillion?
So a balanced budget is fine, but sometimes you have to fuel the well in order to really get the economy going. And we have to take care of our military. Our military is more important to me than a balanced budget, because we'll get there with a balanced budget. But we have a military that's really depleted. And I'm negotiating the price of airplanes. Can you believe this? But I understand airplanes.
I heard you got the price down quite a bit already.
I cut off hundreds of millions of dollars off one particular plane. Hundreds of millions of dollars in a short period of time. It wasn't like I spent like weeks, hours, really less than hours, and many, many hundreds of millions of dollars. And the plane's going to be better.
But you do want that 10% short of the military.
I want a balanced budget eventually, but I want to have a strong military. To me, that's much more important than anything.
One of the worst ways it seems to spend money is going through the Washington bureaucracy. Every congressman has their pet project. There's been talk about infrastructure. Anywhere the Democrats want $1 trillion.
Right.
I think you talked about $137 billion to start. Is that something you want to pay as you go? Is that something you'd rather...
Look, our country's in bad shape. We've spent $6 trillion in the Middle East. $6 trillion, Sean.
Right.
Okay? How the hell do we do this? It's crazy. And by the way, just so you understand, the Middle East, I don't want to be like, you know, they said the speech can be dark on occasion. Well, we spent $6 trillion. When I was interviewed last night by David Muir, he said, aren't you going to make them angry? I said, angry? How can they be more angry than they are right now? Who are we going to make angry? I thought it was a sort of strange question. But aren't you going to make them angry? I said, they're all angry now. The whole world is angry right now. There's such problems in the world and such anger. But we spent all of this money in the Middle East and other places. In the meantime, we have to rebuild our country. We have to rebuild our infrastructure. Some Republicans are fine with it. Some Republicans don't like it. Actually, probably the Democrats like that more than the Republicans, because that's always been one of the things. But John, our roads, our bridges, our highways, our schools, our country is in bad shape.
Yeah, by the way, I hear your helicopter out there in the background.
It's all right.
You took great pride in meeting with carriers, saving jobs, meeting with Ford, saving jobs. You've met with union
General
people.
Motors,
$7 billion,
Fiat,
by the way.
Chrysler. Yeah, we have a lot of plants that are going to be built in Michigan and Ohio and North Carolina and Pennsylvania. And I've only been here for 4 days. But they understand. They understand that if they build a plant outside of the United States, fire all their employees, when that product, whether it's a car or an air conditioner or a washing machine, when that comes through the border, it's going to be heavily taxed. That's the way it is.
But you want to get rid of 75% of regulations.
Yes, I do.
Or more.
75 or more.
Paul Ryan said a
by the way,
20% corporate tax rate. You want a 15%.
By the way, the 75%, and we will have the same amount of protection for the consumer, because that's very important to me. But we'll also be able to create jobs, because right now you can't even start a company in this country.
Right. The media, a little bit of a contentious start, if you will, with them. They want to. I've seen now the New York Times, CNN, NBC. They've used the word liar to describe you, as it relates if you're talking about crowd size or
They're
voter
very
fraud.
hostile. These are very hostile people. These are very angry people.
But they also colluded against you in a campaign.
Yeah.
And my question to you
Well, they're
is...
very dishonest people. The media is very dishonest. I've been saying it. I say it openly.
I said journalism's dead, so we agree.
Never dead, but they're very dishonest people in many cases. Hey, look, you have some very honest ones, but I get stories that are so false and so dishonest.
Martin Luther King's bust?
I wish, well, yeah, they said Martin Luther King's bust was taken out of the Oval Office by me.
It's there.
So, see, that's a very serious charge, because they're not saying the bus is taken out. What they're saying is that I'm a racist. That's what they're saying. That's a very serious charge. Then it turned out the bus, it wasn't, in fact, I got very angry at my people. I said, who took that bus stop? Because I wasn't there. Mm-hmm. And they said it was never moved. It was in the same exact spot. It was never moved. I said, how could they say it? A reporter said that it was taken out. But that's a very, very serious charge, because that's a racist charge. Then when it was revealed that they were wrong, nobody even talks about it. It was a headline, massive story. Trump takes, I would never do that. First of all, I had great respect for Dr. Martin Luther King. So I would never do that. But when it was revealed that it was wrong, it wasn't even a story. Nobody even knows it. Nobody, I'm saying it now, and there have been little art, like a line, but that's a very,
so
I'll give you another example,
question.
Sean. Let me give you one other.
Sure.
I went to the CIA, my first stop, because I have great respect for intelligence. Not the man who headed the CIA.
I watched it.
I don't have any respect for him. But Brennan, I didn't think he was good. But I have great respect for the CIA, for the people. I went there. I have even more respect now, because they took me for tours. They showed me. They're amazing. I made a speech. Now I know if it's good or bad. I'm really good at knowing, did I do well or did I do poorly? And hopefully I don't do
rate
poorly.
every
I couldn't have
speech?
done so poorly because I won, right?
Yeah.
But in your own head, you do too.
I know.
When you do an
You know
interview,
when you do
you
it
say,
well.
you know, I did great or I didn't do so good. Mm-hmm. I gave a speech that really was a 10, relatively speaking. I had a standing ovation like you wouldn't believe. Everybody. And it was such a success. Okay, so now I see CNN and other people say, well, who was in the audience from Trump? Trump. I went there with a few people. There's nobody. It was all CIA. They said, but I heard the first row and the first two rows. You saw that press conference. Sean did a great job. But this guy, whoever he was, I don't even know who he was saying that we stacked the audience. I can't stack the audience at the CIA. I paid great homage to the wall with the stars. I paid great homage. And the audience was standing ovation. They were standing from the beginning. They didn't even sit down. It was one standing ovation, the whole thing. So I get back, and I will say Fox treated it great. They said it was great. When our new person running, Mike Pompeo, who's fantastic, he said to me the other day, that was so great. Everyone loved it. Everybody loved it. When I got back, I saw the speech. They didn't like it. It wasn't respectful. It was a smattering of applause. It wasn't a smattering. It was, there were like 300, 350 people in the room. Over 1,000 wanted to come. And if I took a vote right now, I would have won 350 to nothing, believe me. Mm-hmm. But even that was demeaned as much as they can demean it. What I'm saying, Sean, is this. The media, much of the media, not all of it, is very, very dishonest. Honestly, it's fake news. It's fake. They make things up.
So then here's my question. Between Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, I think you reach 50 million people.
Yeah, pretty close.
But if we know now through WikiLeaks, some of these networks were colluding with Hillary's campaign to defeat you. I've seen major newspapers, 2 cable networks that use the word liar. And my question to you is, does that make you want to rethink entirely how this administration will deal with the media?
Well, they're the liars. Let me give you an example. When Sean got up, he talked about the audience, and he talked about, I had the largest audience. I did. Yeah. I had the largest audience. If you add the television, you add all the sources, the largest audience in the history of inaugurations. I did. They try and demean it so much. And when you look at pictures, I'd love to show you a picture. When I was in that speech, I looked at, it was a sea of people,
in the West Wing.
And they wanted to demean it.
Yeah.
I don't even know when that picture was taken, by the way, to be honest with you. But it wasn't taken from where I was shooting. They take a picture from the back, from the Washington Monument, a backward picture. They are so demeaning, and they are so dishonest, and in many cases not smart.
Well,
but I don't
remember them treating Barack Obama this way.
They don't.
There is a distinct difference.
That
or
could
Hillary.
never have happened. The things that happened to me would. And he's been very nice to me, I have to say, and he wrote me a beautiful letter. But the Martin Luther King thing is an example. That was a terrible thing.
And coming up, more of my cable exclusive interview with President Donald Trump in the White House, and I will ask him about how he plans to repeal and replace Obamacare. That and more as we continue from our nation's capital.
We will have an ambitious legislative agenda as well. Our legislative work starts